Thank you. G'day everyone. My name is Ash Sambrooks. I'm Investment Manager at the Department of Primary Industries and Regional Development. DPIRD is how I'm going to refer to that throughout the session. I just wanted to kick off with a story. Yesterday, I have two little kids, so I had to do pick up. I'm lucky enough to work, live and play here in Coffs Harbour. And the only way out of where I was parked, there was a fellow who was bogged. So the only option for me was to get out and kind of help this guy push his car out. And two things jumped into my mind. The first one was the car kind of emphasised this big challenge that we have, and kind of doing my little tiny part to try to push this sort of target, or get this thing out of the car park. And randomly, the second one was, if there's any Ben Lee fans in the room, it was, "We're all in this together." So it was just quite a moment. Before I kick off my presentation, I just want to acknowledge that we are on goddamn gorgeous, beautiful Gulmangia country, and pay my respects to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander folks in the room, and those who are streaming online. So yeah, look, I just want to take the opportunity to talk a bit more about the agency in which I operate in and some of the work that we do. And the team that I operate in under DPIRD is called Regional Economic Development. We are Australia's only promotional investment attraction agency that squarely focuses on regional areas. We sort of develop this really core understanding of the region's specialities in certain sectors, and understand who to talk to. And we've been really successful in landing some really exciting investments right across the state. I work in the clean economy sector, so my speciality lanes, if you like, are recycling and circular economy, sort of attracting major infrastructure into the regions, but also companies that are looking to expand into multiple regions. That's where we sort of come in and help with that process. I think what really sets us apart is we have a regional development network, and they are all economic development managers, and they're dotted all around the region. There's Armidale and Albury in the room, and the speakers. And in areas like that, we have these people on the ground, and they're just such a rich resource, not just for investment attraction, but once that more aftercare, so the economic development stuff around workforce, or complications with housing and all those sort of aftercare services. This is my sort of overall and purpose, my kind of 5-point plan, if you like, of why I'm up here, what I'm talking about. Starting with demand over the last 3 days. This is my first time at the conference, by the way. It's been an amazing opportunity to listen to some of the fantastic people talk about this demand and the targets that we need to reach. So touching on a bit of demand, some of the driving policies, very, very lightly talk about some of the driving policies that's contributing to the demand as well. I'll spend the bulk of my time in the key opportunities section. We have a waste and recycling prospectus that's sitting with the Minister, and the 4 streams that, although there's many more streams, but the 4 streams we've identified as priority, sort of sending a message to market. These are the streams that we're looking at and trying to encourage more investment in plastics, tyres, e-waste and organics. And in true investment attraction style, I need to talk about our competitive advantages of regional New South Wales, with a sort of more consolidated focus on our world-class precincts. So we have special activation precincts and regional job precincts as well that I'll touch on a little bit. And then I'll kind of finish the talk off where it started, and again re-promote some of the services that we offer. Going to run through this quick. This is just on the demand side of things, is population growth. We've had so many big stats over the last 3 days, but a little birdie of the New South Wales EPA said to me yesterday that waste generation in New South Wales has risen to 2.4 million tonnes in the year 22 to 23, with predictions indicating it could reach nearly 37 million tonnes by 41-42. It kind of was a real knock me over with a feather quote. Capacity, landfill capacity, Minister Sharp. And funnily enough, that fellow who I pushed out of the bog was linked to Minister Sharp, so it was kind of a bit of a hilarious moment as well. Yesterday announced the New South Wales Waste and Infrastructure Plan, We're, as an investment attraction, really looking closely at that. Those sort of the first chapters, squarely looking at the landfill capacity rates in Western Sydney. But we're kind of, staying in consultating and staying in touch with that and what falls out and what opportunities relate to regional New South Wales. And the two major, strategies and policies that also support and mitigate some of this demand, as well as our net zero policy and, of course, New South Wales waste and sustainable materials strategy, and kind of getting this bit out of the way. This current current recovery rate at 66%, and reaching those targets by 80% is just this mammoth task. Again, just I had to throw this one in after I sort of learnt about that astronomical sort of population growth and demand growth. So again, just our complementary policies, just planting them in here, all readily available. Also adding to the Australian Circular Economy Framework. Still many moving parts to this, but the ambitious targets, and I think much of the work that we're all doing, sits under this. So, sort of mentioning the demand and policy settings, sort of looking at some of the natural opportunities that we understand will kind of fall into the regions in which I play and work in. Many more collection opportunities in collection points, resource recovery, and of course treatment and processing. And they sort of include, potential more landfill operations, organic processing, and energy from waste. And just pointing to, I think it's gone up to a $1.5 billion capex of tribe infrastructures proposal at Parks to implement an energy from waste facility there. That I think last time I checked is to a capacity of 600,000 tonnes of waste per annum. So massive, a massive piece of infrastructure in little old Parks that I think is around 10,000 population. Okay, so this is, I wanted to look at these, focus four streams being tyres, e-waste, organics and plastics. Now you'll notice I put up this capacity deficit number, and the way that I calculated that is taking a look at the current recovery rate of 66%. If we did reach that 80% in 5 years, then this is a deficit rate per annum. So I know that it's an ambitious target, but it does allow us to have a broad look and have an indicator of where some of the opportunities may sit. There's so many opportunities to talk about, but I wanted to sort of bring to the attention some of the companies that I'm a real fanboy of, and two of them had the opportunity to play a hand in helping them discover where they wanted to put roots into New South Wales. IQ Renew, I think that's 15,000 tonnes per annum, by the way, if Graham or Danny are around, apologies. I think Anne Price had a video of IQ Renew yesterday, which is fantastic. One company is called Polynew. Now they're in the Central Coast and planning to be operational mid-next year, looking at agriculture and rigid plastics. Fantastic new initiative there. And Psychic Enterprises are a UK company. They were successful with some New South Wales EPA money, and they're setting up in Bathurst. And what they do is they're a soft plastics processor, and they make this fantastic rail sleeper. They've been importing the product, exporting the product into Australia, but now setting up a processing facility. So it's really exciting. I love these sort of dynamic businesses that I get the pleasure to watch and sometimes work with. Tyres, I'm been fascinated with tyres. Again, that deficit number is really huge. For me, the drivers and where I'm seeing lots of trends and where I'm spending most of my time is connecting with the Tide Stewardship Australia. Just such a fantastic organisation. I think that they're doing such incredible work on trying to understand markets. And if you're in the session previous to this, the off-the-road market, so the feedstocks coming from the mining sector, is just incredible. It's such a huge undertaking. And to my understanding, there is more collaboration in that space. So much so that they're being educated on the type of thermal or pyrolysis processing that could help some of those solutions. And so that's a space that I'm paying a lot of attention to, and kind of where it's sitting for us in regional New South Wales is in parks, in the special activation precinct in parks. They're an energy from waste precinct as well, and getting a lot of engagement in that space there, which is really exciting. The big kind of monster e-waste, and I'm not going to pretend to know how to sometimes even find where the opportunities are, but what we're doing is we're spending our energy on batteries, PV solar recycling, and really early developments in wind turbine blade recycling. That's the lanes that I'm sitting in. And kind of real driver of that is the Central West Orana renewable energy zone. So we've got 5 renewable energy zones popping up in regional New South Wales, but this is the first one to sort of formally commence, and construction is starting within months. So this project alone is expected to deliver 4.5 gigawatts of new capacity by 2028. So it's just a phenomenal amount of potential future feedstocks that we're really excited about and looking closely at. There's been some wonderful cumulative impact statements that we're shaping and trying to find those opportunities. I connected with Econia yesterday. I don't know if anyone's seen the really amazing campaign they did around the turbine main campaign. It's like the getting the wind blades and putting them into surfboards, like components into the surfboards. And I just thought that was an incredible campaign because it really got people's creative minds thinking of the possibilities of what is possible. And there's a hell of a lot of these feedstocks coming online in the next 5 to 10 years. Moving to the last one is FOGO, or sort of organics, massive numbers, and probably maybe the most opportunity, low-hanging fruit. I think it's such a big trend that's happening now. Obviously, New South Wales implementing a FOGO mandate. And for us, we know that there's going to be a massive amount of compostable FOGO and compostable organics coming out of Sydney that Sydney won't be able to use. So trying to understand what are the opportunities there for regional New South Wales to get involved. This is a big slide. There's so many competitive advantages. Remember, investment attraction. I'm constantly talking about how wonderful we are. But 2 points here. The $32 billion in regional energy infrastructure projected by 2030. So that's an estimation of private investment into regional New South Wales across those renewable energy zones. So it's just humongous projects with lots of opportunity, recyclable opportunities. And also that last one there, localised circular economies with government support and investment. So what I'm talking about there is our world-class industrial precincts. We have special activation precincts, so they're government-led initiatives, a mix of commercial and government land. I think around $930 million has been spent in setting these things up. The two that are really, I sort of say, ready for business as Parks, Special Activation Precinct, and Wagga. And then I've got some other listed on here. Remembering our remit is whole of regional New South Wales, so that's essentially everywhere besides Sydney and Western Sydney. We work with all councils and all industrial parks, but these are sort of just the government, some of the government-led ones. And then right up north from here, Richmond Valley, and then right down into Albury as well, the Nexus Park there. Very briefly on our special activation precincts, as I mentioned, yes, my notes are saying $950 million worth of investment. The RGDC, so Regional Growth Development Corporation, are responsible for the management and the promotion of these precincts. So anyone that wants to learn more and core details about those, you can come and talk to me. I can point you in the right direction there. But essentially, why they're fantastic for investment and businesses looking to engage is they have a dedicated planning team, a planning concierge. They've done a number of studies in different sectors and different waste streams. They've got a lot of understanding about offtake markets, proximity to feedstocks, etc., etc. And there's a real fantastic mix of government-owned land in there as well. As mentioned, parks and Wagga, in the sort of the space that I work in the clean economy space, are the two real go-tos. Okay, and finally, our sort of offering service, again, our department, as Deep heard, the team I work in is regional economic development. And it's really a real mixed bag of what we can offer clients. They come in all shapes and sizes. We have a locations and analytics team, and what we offer there is the clients needing to stack up the economics or understanding a bit more detail on a local level about feedstock opportunities. We can offer multiple packs of locations, talk to local government, get temperature checks on social license, all sorts of things. But I guess mainly most of the work that I do on a day-to-day basis is sort of sit right in the middle and coordinate conversations between industry and multi-levels of government. I think I've covered all of it. Oh, and I can't go backwards. That's me. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.